In terms of, I mean, you were talking, Dan, about I, we, and it. I mean, it's easy to get Satori for the I. It's hard to get it with the we. And when the we awakens, it's the we is the most, I think, most profound manifestation of spirit, although it's equally present in everything that's arising. I've been cursed. Those are all good things. I've been cursed by the fact that once you have these experiences, a way to communicate it on the manifest side. In other words, it's one thing to feel a oneness, but how can you say, here's how neurophysiology is actually one with phenomenology, is actually one with what Genpo just did, is actually one with hermeneutics, is actually one, and so on. And so I was driven, and I think driven is just the only way to put it, really since about age 17 or 18, to try to not just feel a holism, but demonstrate it. And you have to do that usually in sort of written forms. And so that's a hard task. So I locked myself up for 30 years, and it worked well. So I'm done, and we're here celebrating. And then they let me out of the room, and I get to eat a little cake and go swimming and stuff like that. So that's been fun. That's worked really well. So I would say it's those combinations of a spiritual practice that breaks you open into this ever-present state. I wish I had known Genpo. I wish I had known any of these teachers 20, 30 years ago. But that's been very powerful, the personal relationship with many people, but in particular with Treya. And then this intense sort of coming from overmind down into all the books that I write come fully formed. I just see them, and they just seep down. And then I have really about a several-week period of just intense writing, extremely unpleasant. And it must be very much like giving birth, like a woman giving birth. It's just a very, very intense labor. But they always come pretty much fully formed. And then getting them down, the best part of that is because it is just a framework. It doesn't necessarily have content. And so it can allow all of us to come together, for example, and be exactly what we are. The framework doesn't say Genpo has to change what he's doing or Kabbalah has to change what it's doing or anything like that at all. It just says, look, here's a way that they can all fit together. And the thing that I tend to appreciate out of this is the extraordinary compassion for diversity that comes if you have an absolute understanding of unity. And with that foundation of unity, you can appreciate diversity enormously. If you really don't get that, then you'll take your little piece of diversity and try to cram it down somebody else's throat. And that's not really unifying. That's violence in a strange way. And Genpo gave a good little example about how to get some perspectives together. And he was working with things that can be in your awareness right now, in a sense. We add 8 other perspectives and bring those together. Genpo wouldn't right now wouldn't say, let me talk to the mind who can do cognitive science and write the Schrödinger wave equation on the board. Of course, you have to go and do that. God knows why you'd want to. But anybody that wants to, please leave now, because we're going to do no cake for you. We're having fun there. But if you do add up all of these different perspectives, I'm sometimes accused of sort of forcing things into a frame. It's just the opposite. It makes room for these things in the cosmos just as they are. We don't change anything about what any of these disciplines are doing. We just say, oh, notice, here's how they fit with what these are doing. In that sense, that's a sense of unity on the manifest side of the street that you can then use in whatever practice you're in, whether you're in medicine or law or being a waiter or waitress working at a gas station, it doesn't matter. You can be an integrally informed waiter, and you get more tips. So you got that going for you.